Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am meadsyreplays and welcome back to another episode of Yeah Nah. I actually have a few episodes of Yeah Nah. I've got so many replays of just people losing, but they lose with honor. They lose with honor, with big damage, and they lose basically because they have no team. We are watching the WZ111 1-4. This is actually a tank that I don't even think I've ever shown as a replay before. I've done a video on the tank, but I don't think I've ever done actually a replay. Maybe once a year or 2 years ago, whenever this tank first was originally released. Maybe not even then. I can't remember. I can't recall ever doing a replay on this tank. Now this guy plays absolutely fantastic. He uses the HE really well, but it doesn't help that 2 minutes in 1 minute into the game, two of his teammates are gone already. So I love the fact that he's always trying the HE. He's always seeing if he can pen the HE. He is higher tier, and there is only sort of 2 tier 9. So he has the advantage, being a good player, knowing how to play the tank, knowing that the HE can do big damage. But unfortunately, the team around him just does not help. Now, no one is looking at pushing. You can see the enemy are all pushing together. No one's sort of trying to counter that. And he does, again, get a nice HE shot into that T49. There is a couple of lower hit point tanks. Now there is the KV4 coming around the back. Me personally, I would be ignoring the KV4 right now. I'd be going for the one. I'd pretty much be going forward. Considering the KV4 went on his own. He went on his own. He capped a base. He's just flanked around. We know already he isn't the best of players. So having that tank, something that hasn't got great pen, I would be leaving. He's not a dangerous tank at all. So by this time, it is just a little bit too late. He could have cleared the AMX 5120 if he would have just ignored the KV4. But you know what? He's going for the damage that's right in front of him. You know, it happened. Most other people, like 80%, maybe even 90%, would do the exact same thing. However, I just see it as, looking back at these replays, when I'm watching a replay, you can actually say what you should be doing, but when you're actually in battle, of course, it is completely different. At this point, he does manage to take out the KV4, doesn't take any damage, but he is now on his own against 2 auto loaders, or 1 auto reloader and an auto loader. So he has got the AMX 5120 down to a 1-shot now. He is going to start pushing forward, but his biggest threat is the Emil, which is still pretty much full hit points. Now he's going to be a trouble to deal with. Now, I see what he's doing here. It's actually, again, not bad play what he's doing. He's just reversing up. He could go into the Emil, face hug him, but then, of course, he knows that the AMX 5120 will come behind. And this guy is a 1-shot, so he really needs to clear this guy. But doing so, he does come out sideways, and he takes a nasty couple of hits. And before you know it, he's only on 656 HP. Now, this would have been completely different if he would have ignored the KV4 and gone for the AMX at the pretty much when we said. So he's now, I think he's panicking. He's panicking because he's done so well. 6.4k damage. He has done so well. And now you can see him just fluffing his shots. Give me the win, bro. No. Stop asking for the win. He's not just going to give you the win. Like, sure, okay, come kill me. You're on 6k damage. Sure, come kill me. It doesn't happen like that. And it shouldn't happen like that. If you get the kill, if he gives you the kill, then yeah, of course I wouldn't show the replay anyway. So you know that he's not going to give the kill. I mean, there's no harm in there's no harm in asking, right? Of course, there's no harm in asking. If he would give it to you, if he would give you the damage, you would have a nice Hall of Fame. Now, this is actually Hall of Fame #1 in in this season anyway. So now there's only one thing left for him to do. He's got 7.3k damage. He has blocked 1800 damage, but the cap points. Unfortunately, it is supremacy. He now knows that he's unable to get in that cap, otherwise the Emil will just farm him. So at this point in the game, I think he kind of knows it's a loss, but it might not be. Instead of going the right side, if he would have gone the left side and maybe used the gun depression, maybe used a bit of heat into the turret, he may have got the Emil down to a one shot, and who knows, it could have been a different outcome. But still, nevertheless, a great game, great amount of damage in a tank we very rarely ever see in on our replays. Talking about tanks we never see in replays, we are going to another one here, and it is driven by Max, and it is the Tortoise. And the Tortoise, the same as the WZ, it's not a tank we receive often in a good replay. Now this team as well, just like the other game, is they just vanish. They absolutely vanish, and just watch. It starts off really well. It starts off really well. They all go together to the left side, which is fine. This is funny. I love his reaction. Oh, I love this tank, says the T49. Yeah, but it's not a TD. Yeah, I know. I tell you what, I'm going to go and spot. Well, you should have done that straight away. If he would have done that straight away, this T49, then maybe, just maybe, they could have decided what they're doing. The TDs, maybe they wanted to stay there, maybe they want to turn right here and start aiming, or maybe they want to keep going around to see if there is any isolated tanks around the spawn area. But because he took his time in capping, I mean, they could have gone the right side. Of course, they could have gone right side at this point and sort of taken some shots on tanks passing by. But they do keep going around, and now, so at the moment, it is actually all looking good. It's not too bad. The same as the enemy, they've all pretty much gone together. Unfortunately for this T28 prototype, he is falling a bit behind from his team, but he gets away with that HE. And again, the Tortoise has got Hesh. It's got good pen Hesh. The only thing with the Tortoise could be an absolute beast of a tank if it just had an armor buff. I still think these tanks need an armor buff. They are so easy to deal with now. Like, these tanks are known, or they were known, to be really heavily well armored. A nice gun, but literally no speed. However, now just anyone can deal with it. Not only is that hatch really weak, the front plates are really weak. The side of the gun, either side on the corners, that is really weak. The bottom plate is actually really weak on the Tortoise. So there's just nothing. The only thing going for this tank is that gun. It is an amazing gun. And when you can get it to work, when you can get the Hesh to work, then you will do well. But you just unfortunately can't bounce that often. Now there is one tank down, the Lerva. He is gone, and now is where we're just going to see, like, everyone's just going to vanish. There goes that guy. The IS-8 didn't really do much. He was the one that said F, but yet he did absolutely nothing himself. Like a tier 9 tank, when there's only 2 tier 9s or 3 tier 9s in your team, you should hope that they at least know how to play. Because they're a tier higher. They've got a lot of tier 8s, especially the IS-8. It's got good armor, it's got troll armor, but when an IS-8 does absolutely nothing at all, then yeah, it's not a good sign. So here comes the E75. It was pushing. Look at that, just that everyone vanishes before you know it. It is a 3 versus 7. Our guy Max here, he is doing well. The T49 takes out the E75, but he is going to get taken out very soon. But he does get a nice shot there in the Centurion, bringing him down to a 1 shot. And because of the quick reload of this tank, he can actually take him out. But the T49 is gone. The VK takes him out. Unfortunately, there are a couple of heavies left at the VK100, and they are very healthy in regards to hit points. Now, God knows what this bat chat is doing. He gets a nice HE and a nice ram into him, puts him down to a 1 shot. He does take a shot, but he does manage to clear that guy to bring it down to a 2 versus 3. But his last remaining teammate, the heavy tank, is actually going to get taken out very soon. Now, it's a very unfortunate. Now, he's got one VK168 to the left and one VK100 to the right. There goes the Camp Panzer. There goes the last tier 9. Now he's face hugging. This is where you want this tank to be like a god, when you're face hugging like this. But it's actually worse when you're face hugging like this. You're unable to like wiggle, and it's unfortunately you just can't get no bounces. I mean, 460 bounce, that's nothing really when you're a top tier and there's 4 tier 8s. But nevertheless, great game, 7.5k damage. Just unfortunate he didn't have his team with him. Just look at that, no one above 1k. Hope you enjoyed the replays, guys. I'm Meadsy, and I'll catch you soon.